The sun rose slowly over the quiet forest, painting the sky with soft orange and pink. The birds had returned, chirping from tree to tree, unaware that a battle had taken place just hours before. Inside the cabin, Cole was repairing the broken scanner, but his hands moved slower than usual. His mind wasn't on the machine. His thoughts were with Virahu, stood by the window, watching the sunrise as if seeing it for the first time. They had won. The enemy ship was disabled. The soldiers were either captured or had fled into the forest, where Cole's drones kept watch. For now they were safe, but the silence between them carried a question. What now? Vera turned from the window and looked at him. The bond. It changed something in me. Cole stopped working and looked up. She stepped closer, calm and clear. Before I met you, I only thought of survival, escape, hiding, but now I feel something I never felt before. Cole put the scanner down. You mean peace? Vera nodded. And connection, a real one. Not just through energy or instinct, but something more human. He smiled softly. You've been here for only a few days and you already sound more human than some people I used to know. She laughed gently. Maybe that's because you shared more than just your cabin. You shared your soul. Cole stood and walked toward her. The morning light warmed their faces. I didn't plan for this, he said honestly. I never expected anyone to come into my life again. Thought I had closed that door for good. But you opened it, she said. Yes, he replied. I'm glad I did. Outside, the trees stood tall and silent, as if guarding the land around them. The cabin, though simple, now felt like more than just a shelter. It had become a home, a place where two different beings found something rare in the galaxy. Trust, Vera stepped outside, breathing in the fresh air. Her body had recovered. Her heart crystal, once cracked and weak, now pulsed steadily again. It glowed softly beneath her skin, bright when Cole was near. He followed her, holding 2 cups of tea. You've got that distant look again. I was thinking, she said, if I leave, they might stop searching. But I don't want to go. Not yet. Cole handed her the tea. Then don't. She took a sip, enjoying the warmth. But if they return in greater numbers, this cabin won't be enough. Even with your drones, even with our bond, we'll be outnumbered someday. Cole nodded. You're right. That's why I've been thinking too. She raised an eyebrow. About what? About leaving with you. Veer blinked, surprised. You would leave your home? I built this place to escape the galaxy, he said. But now I've remembered that the galaxy isn't just full of war and darkness. It also has people like you. She looked into his eyes. If you come with me, we won't have safety. Not at first. I know, he said. But maybe we can build something new, together. A ship, a future, a message to others like us. She stepped closer, voice soft. What message? Even in a galaxy full of danger, a bond between 2 different lives can change everything. By mid-morning, they returned to the crash site. Vera's escape pod was damaged beyond repair, but the enemy's black ship was still grounded. Cole had removed its flight controls earlier, but now he had other plans. We can rebuild this ship, he said. Not for war, not for escape, but for freedom. Vera placed her hand on the outer hull. Can we do it? Cole smiled. With time and your help? Yes. Together, they began unloading pieces of tech from the cabin, attaching solar converters and rewiring parts of the ship. Vera's advanced knowledge and Cole's engineering skill worked in perfect balance. Every hour passed with purpose. They didn't talk much, just worked, side by side, with understanding in every look and every shared breath. The bond made it easier. The bond made it real. That night, under a sky full of stars, they lit a small fire and sat beside it. The new ship's lights blinked in the background, slowly coming alive. Vera leaned her head on Cole's shoulder. Do you regret any of this? She asked. No, he answered. I only regret not finding you sooner. She smiled. You say. Such human things. I'm just being honest. She looked up at him. Will you still sleep without clothes? Cole chuckled. Probably, but this time, I won't be alone. She leaned closer and whispered, and this time, I won't climb over you in fear. No? He asked, teasing lightly. No, she replied. This time, it would be by choice. The fire crackled softly. The forest was calm. The stars above didn't speak, but if they could, they would say, something beautiful has begun here. A human who chose silence, an alien who chose him. Not by war, not by duty, but by something deeper, by connection, by trust, by love. The sky above the quiet forest glowed orange as a meteor shower lit up the night. Cole sat on the wooden porch of his small cabin, sipping warm tea. He lived alone on this remote planet, far away from the busy colonies of humans. It was peaceful. Here no noise, no orders, no war, just trees, stars, and silence. He had once been a brilliant engineer for the Earth Federation, but after the last war ended, he wanted no more of it. He built his own cabin deep in the woods, powered by solar panels and protected by old defense systems he kept buried and hidden. That night, as the meteors streaked across the sky, something strange happened. A flash of white light cut through. The orange glow moving too fast, too low, then dash boom. The ground shook slightly. Birds flew out of trees in a panic. Cole stood up quickly, his eyes sharp. That wasn't a meteor. That was a ship or an escape pod. Without hesitation, he grabbed his old coat, slipped on his boots, and followed the trail of smoke rising from the forest. The trees were dense, and the smell of burned metal was strong. After a few minutes, he found it. A small, oval-shaped escape pod had crashed in a clearing, half buried in the soft soil. Sparks flew from its cracked body. The hatch was half open. Cautiously, Cole stepped closer. Inside, he saw something or someone. It was a woman, at least. She looked mostly human, but her skin had a soft bluish-purple tone. Her hair was silver and tied back. Her ears were small, but shaped slightly differently, almost like short elven points. She wore a dark, thin uniform with strange symbols on it. Her chest rose and fell slowly. She was alive. Cole looked around. No one else. Just her. He pulled her out carefully, noticing how cold her skin was. She wasn't bleeding much, but she looked weak, exhausted. I hope you're not dangerous, Cole muttered to himself as he carried her back. The cabin was warm compared to the night outside. Cole placed her gently on the couch and covered her with a blanket. He checked her for broken bones. Nothing major. Few bruises. Some cuts. He applied a small healing patch to her arm. It beeped and began to glow gently, sealing the wound. She didn't speak. Her eyes stayed closed. Cole studied her face. She looked young, maybe his age. Her skin was smooth, soft. There was something peaceful about her, even in her injured state. Who are you? He asked quietly. What are you doing on this side of the galaxy? No answer, just slow breathing. Cole yawned. He hadn't planned to stay up all night. He set the cabin's defense system to alert mode in case anyone came searching for her. Then, without thinking much about it, he walked into his room, dropped his clothes like he always did, and laid on his bed. He never wore clothes while sleeping. It was a habit made him feel free, like nothing could trap him again. The window was open, and the cool air helped him fall asleep faster. The night passed quietly, but before dawn, as the sky turned from dark blue to pale gray, something stirred. Inside the cabin, the woman opened her eyes. Slowly, quietly, she sat up. She looked around the cabin. She saw the small fireplace, the shelves full of tools, and the single door that led to the bedroom. She stood up, her legs shaky. Something inside her was pulling, drawing her toward the room. Her body temperature was dropping. Her species couldn't regulate heat alone, not after trauma. And something about the humans, something about him, called to her. She opened the door softly and stepped inside. There he was, lying under a light blanket, half uncovered. The room was warm, but not enough for her. She didn't think of it as wrong or strange. Her instincts were strong. She moved closer, slowly. She leaned over him, carefully studying his face, his chest, his breath. His body gave off strong, steady warmth. It was calm. She placed one hand near his shoulder, just for a second. Just enough. Cole stirred. His eyes opened, and there she was above him for a moment. Neither of them moved. She didn't attack. She didn't speak. She simply met his gaze with quiet eyes. "Hi," Cole said softly, unsure what else to say. She blinked, then whispered warm. "Approx 950 words. Third person? Simple English." Violation-free Cole sat up slowly, holding the blanket to his waist. The early light slipped through the window, painting the wooden walls pale gold. Across from him, the strange woman stood barefoot, wrapped in the wool blanket he had first placed on her. She kept one hand on the bedpost, as if steadying herself in this new world. "Warm," she repeated in a quiet voice. Cole nodded. "You're cold. Take my robe." He reached for a thick robe hanging on a chair and handed it over without leaving the bed. She accepted it, confused by the tie, then copied his gesture and pulled it around her shoulders. "My name is Cole," he said. "I live alone here. Who are you?" She hesitated. Her lips formed shapes that did not match any human word. She tried again, slower. Ra. "Vera," Cole repeated, careful with the sound. "Are you hurt?" Vera touched the healing patch on her arm. The smart bandage had turned clear overnight, showing smooth skin beneath. She shook her head. "No broken bone," she said, voice thin but clear. "Energy low, cold inside." Cole swung his legs off the bed, still wrapped in a sheet. "Wait here, I'll make the fire hotter." He threw on loose pants, then stepped to the small iron stove in the corner. He fed it to thick logs and opened the vents so bright coals glowed. Heat filled the room fast. Vera's shoulders dropped in relief. She drew closer to the stove, hands open to the warmth. Now that the light was better, Cole saw fine silver lines running under her skin, at her temples and plant seams. Maybe. Soft violet pulse moved through them, like blood replaced by gentle light. "Why were you in an escape pod?" he asked. "Running," she said, choosing each word. "Bad people chase my ship, I jump away. Capsule lost power." She placed a hand over her chest, just left of center. Heart crystal cracked, needs steady heat to heal. Human warmth, perfect. She offered a small, grateful nod. Cole raised. "An eyebrow? Heart crystal?" Vera tapped the spot again. "My kind store, extra power here, keeps mind and body balanced." "Cold breaks it," she looked up. "I felt your heat when you carried me, your cabin warm." I followed. "It was bold," Cole said, remembering finding her above him. But he could not be angry. She had risked nothing more than a look and a soft touch. "Next time, just shake my shoulder like normal people." Vera's lips curved half a smile. "I learn." With the stove blazing, Cole brewed tea from dried forest herbs. He offered her a mug. She studied the steam, then copied his sip. Bright note of surprise crossed her face. She took another drink. He led her to the main room where the crashed pod's beacon lay on a workbench. During the night, he had dragged it back and begun repairs. The shell was scorched, but the core looked intact. He pointed to it. "If we fix this, maybe you can call friends for help." Vera stepped closer, but did not smile. "No call. Signal dangerous. Hunter ships listen." She pressed a thin finger to a cracked diode. "Need silence?" Cole frowned. "So you're alone out here?" "Yes, better alone than captured." Her hand shook as she set the diode down. Even the robe could not hide her weakness. "Then you'll stay till you're strong," Cole decided. "I have supplies. Solar cells. Tools. Food isn't fancy, but it's ours." He spoke gently, yet firmly, an engineer used to solving problems. Vera's eyes widened. She did not speak right away. At last she said, "Human promise is strong." Cole gave a small shrug. "Out here, a promise is all that holds anything together." The morning passed with quiet work. Cole dug out a portable heater plate and placed it near the couch so Vera could sit and absorb warmth. Then he returned to the workshop corner and opened a metal crate. Inside lay an old device, a palm-sized translator he once used during off-world trade missions. The memory chips were dusty but intact. He carried the translator to her. "This will help us talk without breaking our tongues." He powered it up, and a faint hum filled the air. Vera leaned forward. Cole spoke next. Within minutes, the device attached new phonemes to its database, linking Vera's accent with his language. A soft chime signaled readiness. "Testing," Cole said. "Testing," Vera answered. Her voice now carried a smooth layer of computer clarity, each word crisp. She laughed lightly, almost childlike at the sudden ease. "This is wonderful," Cole grinned back. The moment felt human and familiar to strangers sharing a small victory, forgetting the wild galaxy outside. Yet that galaxy was not going to forget them. Midday came. Cole stepped outside to check solar panels. The twin suns of the planet sat low in spring alignment, bathing the forest in warm silver. He squinted at the sky out of habitalways, scanning for trouble. Behind him, the cabin door creaked. Vera walked onto the porch, still holding the translator disc, robe tied tight. She watched birds weave between giant ferns. "Your world is calm," she said through the device. "Feels like a place stories are born. It's peaceful until you need hospital-grade tech," Cole replied, wiping sweat from his brow. "But I built most things I need," pointed to a distant ridge. "There's a stream for water. Root vines grow along that slope, and I keep a greenhouse out back." Vera tilted her head, impressed. "You live alone by choice?" "After the war, I needed silence." He hesitated, looking at tree shadows. Memories of explosions and smoke flickered in his mind. Silence is honest. No orders, no lies. Vera's expression softened with understanding. "We share something, then." Running from noise, they stood quietly for a breath. A cool wind rustled the leaves, carrying with it a faint, unnatural buzz. Cole's brow furrowed. He reached into a pocket and pulled out a wrist device, a scanner linked to the cabin's hidden defenses. A warning symbol blinked amber. Low-level transmission detected. Coordinates, right above the cabin. Cole followed the scanner's arrow. Upward, a tiny, almost invisible drone hovered against the bright sky, reflecting sunlight like a speck of dust. "Down," he barked. He grabbed Vera's wrist and pulled her inside. The door slammed. Shields in the walls activated with a bass note thrum. Vera's face drained of color. "Syndicate Scout," she said, voice trembling through the translator. "They tracked my pod's emergency ping. I thought it was dead." Cole's jaw set. He hurried to a hidden panel and pressed his palm against it. The floor plate slid aside, revealing a dusty command console wired to dormant defense drones buried beneath the clearing. He glanced at Vera. "I hoped I'd never need these again." She steadied herself. "You saved me once. Let me help you fight." Cole paused, seeing resolve in her pale eyes. "Then let's make sure Dawn's light stays ours." Outside, the silent drone wheeled higher, sending unseen messages to the sky. In the cabin's shadows, human ingenuity and alien courage prepared to answer. Cole stood in front of the open floor panel, hands moving quickly over the console. His fingers tapped in codes he hadn't used in years, codes from a time when humans were fighting to survive in deep space. The lights on the console flickered to life one by one. Blue, green, orange, defense grid. "Waking up," he said quietly. Vera stood nearby, watching with wide eyes. "These machines, they're from war?" she asked. Cole nodded. "Earth tech. Hidden here in case someone ever came looking for trouble. I didn't think I'd need them again." He looked at her. "But your trouble is now my trouble." She lowered her head slightly. "I didn't mean to bring danger, I know," Cole said, "but that doesn't change what's coming." He pointed to the screen. A red dot was blinking slowly, moving in circles above their location. "That drone is just the start. It sent a signal. If someone's listening, they'll be here by tonight." Outside, the forest looked calm, but something had changed. The birds were quieter. The wind was still. Even the light felt heavier. Vera sat by the window, hands wrapped around a cup of tea. Her body had warmed and the robe fit her better now. The translator device rested on her lap. Ready? You said your heart crystal broke, Cole said, walking over. Can you still fight? Vera's face was calm. If I must, yes. But I cannot fly, and I cannot run far. Cole nodded. We make a stand. He handed her a small device. This will control the cabin shields. Don't press the red button unless we're out of time. It triggers overload and fries everything, including the beacon they're tracking. Vera understood. No ship will ever find us again if that happens exactly. By afternoon, Cole had 3 drones patrolling the forest. They were round, floating machines equipped with sensors, shock rounds, and cloaking fields. Each one took power from his solar grid, but it was worth it. He tested them with hand signals and voice commands. Circle wide. Scan for motion. The drones obeyed perfectly. Vera watched from a distance, surprised by how easily he commanded. Machines that looked like war relics. You speak to them like soldiers, she said. Cole gave a small smile. I used to build them. Gave each one a different memory core. They learn, they follow, but they only protect. She nodded, then hesitated. Why do you live here, Cole? Alone? Far from others? He paused before answering. I saw too much. In the war, humans were pushed too far. We built weapons that destroyed moons. And when peace came, nobody knew how to live quiet anymore. I chose silence. I chose nature. Vera looked outside, her face thoughtful, and now I bring noise. No, Cole said softly. It brought purpose. As the twin suns began to set, the air grew cooler. A strange humming noise echoed through the forest, low and steady, like something large was approaching. Cole rushed to the console. New signal Northridge, fast and low. Vera moved to the window, eyes sharp. It's them. Cole didn't waste a second. Think to the crawl space. Now, led her to a hidden panel behind the couch. Inside was a narrow passage leading to a small underground shelter built for emergencies. She crawled in without question. Cole stayed outside, locking the hatch behind her. I'll draw them away, he said, voice calm. Stay silent. Vera wanted to stop him, but the hatch sealed shut. Minutes later, a sleek black ship hovered over the forest. Its engines didn't roar, they whispered, vibrating the trees like soft thunder. From its belly, 2 figures dropped. Down, tall, armored, carrying strange rifles. Cole stood at the edge of the clearing, hands raised. He wore his coat now, but his face was bare and firm. This is private land, he shouted. You're trespassing. The aliens looked at him. One stepped forward. Its voice came through a modulator. We search for a fugitive. Blue skin, silver hair. You have seen her. Cole frowned. I haven't seen anyone but trees for weeks. Maybe she crashed somewhere else. The alien scanned him. Your tech is too advanced for a farmer. Cole didn't blink. I was an engineer. I live simply, but I protect myself. The second alien aimed his weapon at Cole. Lies. We detect her life signs near. Cole didn't move. But behind him, one of the drones rose from the grass, its light blinking silently. Last warning, Cole said. Leave now or you'll regret it. An alien fired. Cole dove aside as a bolt of energy blasted through the air, burning the grass. His drone responded, instantly firing a shock pulse that struck the alien square in the chest. The creature fell, armor sparking. The second enemy shouted in their native tongue and ran toward Cole, but the forest answered with light. 3 more drones rose from the ground, firing coordinated blasts. Cole rolled behind a tree, then activated the emergency field. A shimmering dome of energy surrounded the cabin and the clearing. The second alien crashed into it, stunned by the force. Sparks flew. Ship above blinked red, alarms ringing inside. Retreat signal, shouted one alien before they vanished in a flash of emergency teleport. Silence returned. Only the hum of Cole's shield remained. Later, as the sky darkened, Cole opened the hatch and helped Vera out. She looked around in shock. "You fought." "Them," she said. "And won." Cole nodded, wiping dust from his coat. "They'll come again. But now they know this planet isn't easy." Vera touched his arm gently. "Thank you. You risked yourself for me." He looked at her, tired but honest. "You're not just some stranger anymore. You're part of my story now." Vera gave a small smile, her silver hair glowing faintly in the cabin light. As night fell once more, the stars above burned silently. And beneath them, a human and an alien prepared for whatever would come next. The next morning was quiet again, but not peaceful. The trees stood still, the forest hushed, and the air carried a feeling of tension, like the planet itself was holding its breath. Cole sat by the cabin's workbench, tools in hand, trying to fix a damaged drone. Wires sparked as he connected the broken circuits. His eyes looked tired but focused. Across the room, Vera sat on a wooden chair near the heater. She held the translator device close and watched Cole work. Her body had recovered well, but something inside her was changing. She felt connected to him, not just in a friendly way, deeper, stronger, as if his presence calmed the strange energy inside her. His emotions, when strong, touched her chest like soft waves. She didn't understand it fully, but she could feel him. "Even now without speaking, your hand is shaking," she said quietly. Cole looked up, surprised. "You can feel that?" Vera nodded. "Yes. Like your worry enters me." He put the tool down. "It started after you touched me that night, didn't it?" She stood slowly. "Yes, I didn't mean for it to happen. It's something my kind developed long ago, for survival. When we are near death, our bodies reach for help. Emotion, warmth, energy, all binds." Cole leaned back in his chair. "So this is some kind of bond?" "Yes, but it is rare and hard to break." Cole didn't speak for a moment. He stared at the floor, trying to process it. "Is it dangerous?" Vera shook her head. "Unless you try to resist it too hard. If you accept it, it helps. Lets us feel each other's emotions, even pain. Even thoughts, sometimes." Cole looked at her again, curious now. "So you know what I'm thinking?" She tilted her head. "Not clearly, but I feel when you're afraid. Or calm. Or when you're thinking about your past." Cole gave a soft laugh. "That's a lot to handle." "For me too," she said gently. "But it saved my life." They spent the afternoon together, working quietly in the cabin. Cole repaired the damaged drone, while Vera checked the power systems. She was quick to learn and careful with her hands. Cole found himself watching her when she wasn't looking. Despite being from another world, she moved like she belonged. Here. Like the forest accepted her, just as it had accepted him years ago. When evening came, Cole made a simple meal, vegetable stew and dried fruit. They sat across from each other at the small wooden table. "I wasn't expecting company," he said. Vera smiled. "I wasn't expecting to live." There was a soft silence between them, not awkward, just quiet understanding. "You said your kind bonds in fear," Cole said. "What happens if the fear is gone?" Vera looked down at her bowl. "Then the bond changes. It becomes something else, something harder to explain." Cole nodded slowly, like trust. "Yes. Or something deeper," she said, without raising her eyes. He didn't push. The moment didn't need words. That night, as the stars returned to the sky, Vera stood outside the cabin and stared upward. She could see faint flashes, tiny lights far above, moving between stars. "They're watching," she said. Cole joined her, arms crossed against the night chill. "The syndicate?" "Yes, they're patient. They won't strike right away. They want to learn what you are." Cole raised an eyebrow. "What I am," Vera nodded. "You faced them without fear. You used machines they couldn't override. Your mind didn't break when our bond formed. You're more dangerous than they thought." Cole shrugged. "I'm just human." Vera turned to him, her eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. "That's what makes you special." Later, back in the cabin, Cole laid on his bed, staring at the ceiling. Vera sat nearby, wrapped in a thick blanket on the floor. The heater hummed softly beside them. "I don't usually let people stay," he said. "I don't usually need people," she replied. Cole turned his head. "Why me?" Vera hesitated. "I don't know. Maybe fate. Maybe instinct. But when I touched you, my body chose you. That's a lot for someone you just met." She smiled gently. "You're not just someone anymore." Long pause passed. "I don't know what's happening between us," Cole admitted, "but I'm not afraid of it." She looked at him, eyes soft. "Neither am I." Near midnight, the warning light blinked on the cabin console. Cole sat up quickly. Another signal. Vera was already on her feet. "Is it them?" Cole checked the scanner. No, smaller, not a ship. Could be a drone or worse, a scout. What? Activated the outer sensors? Faint heat signature moved through the trees, slow, careful. "Not animal. They're testing us," he said. Vera touched his arm. "Let me go with you. It's too risky. I can sense danger through our bond," she replied. "If something tries to trick us, I'll know." Cole nodded. "All right, but stay close." They stepped outside under the cold stars. The forest was dim, lit only by the moons above. Cole carried a small scanner and a flashlight. Vera followed, silent and alert. The signal led them to a clearing near the old crash site. In the center stood a strange device, black, oval-shaped, humming softly. "A trap," Vera whispered. "It sends a false signal to draw us in." Cole stepped back. "Can it track us?" "Yes, but if we overload it." Cole pulled a small EMP spike from his belt. "Then let's finish this." He placed the spike at the base of the device. The timer beeped softly. They ran behind them. The pulse exploded in silence. No fire, just a wave of light. The device cracked apart, its signal fried. Back in the cabin, Cole disabled all signal receivers. He turned to Vera. "They won't stop," he said. "But neither will we." She reached out, placing her hand over his chest. "Then we fight together." Their bond pulsed softly between them, stronger now. No longer built on fear, but something else growing quietly beneath it. The next day began with a soft breeze and golden light pouring through the trees. It felt like a normal morning, but both Cole and Vera knew something had changed. Their bond was stronger. Now each could feel the other's mood without speaking. Vera stood outside, eyes scanning the sky. "They're getting closer," she said softly. Cole stepped beside her, holding a data tablet. "I checked the energy trail from last night's trap. That device didn't work alone. It connected to something bigger, something waiting." Vera turned to him. "Then they're setting a trap for us." Cole nodded. "We need to set one. Of our own first." The two of them worked through the morning, preparing the area around the cabin for a possible attack. Cole placed sensor pads under leaves, buried small power spikes around trees, and connected old defense drones to a remote trigger. He showed Vera how to use them. "These aren't weapons meant to kill," he explained. "They disable shock." "Confuse?" Vera gave a slight smile. "Good. I don't want to kill, but I won't be taken again." They trained together for hours. Cole taught her how to move quietly through the forest, how to read the scanner screen, and how to call the drones using a small wrist control. Vera, in return, taught Cole how to feel through the bond, how to sense fear or lies or danger in the air. "You don't need eyes when the bond is strong," she said. "You feel what I feel?" That evening, just before sunset, the warning light blinked again. This time, it wasn't a small drone or signal. It was a full ship, cloaked, but close. "They're coming," Cole said, checking the readings. "Not just to scare us this time." He and Vera rushed to the shelter under the cabin and gathered the supplies they had prepared earlier: shock grenades, signal blockers, field disruptors. Cole looked at Vera. "We can't wait for them to come. To us, we move first." She placed her hand on his. "Then we go together." They moved through the trees like shadows. The moonlight was just enough to guide them. Vera stayed close, her steps light, her eyes glowing softly in the dark. Suddenly, she stopped. "Cole," she whispered, pointing to a rock ahead. trap. Cole scanned it, yes. A thin energy wire was stretched across the path. If they had stepped on it, a tracker would have activated. They're smart, he muttered, but not smarter than us. He placed a false signal pad on the wire, tricking it into believing something had passed. Then they moved to higher ground and waited. Minutes later, 3 enemy soldiers stepped into the forest. They wore dark armor and moved in silence. One of them paused at the spot where the fake signal had triggered. He raised his weapon. Cole pressed a button on his wrist. A drone dropped from a tree above and fired a burst of stun energy. The first soldier fell instantly. The second one turned, but Vera was faster. She tossed a small flash beacon between 2 trees. It exploded in white light, and the second soldier stumbled. Blinded, Cole ran forward and hit him with a stun rod. The third soldier fired wildly, then activated his cum. They're here. Send backup. Before he could say more, a net trap fell from a tree and wrapped around him. He struggled, but couldn't move. Cole stepped out, breathing hard. 3 down. How many more coming? Vera touched her chest. More ships. Be 5 minutes. Cole pulled out a small device. We do it now. He activated a signal booster that sent a coded message to his cabinware. The last set of defense. Drones waited. Back at the cabin, the forest lit up. Drones flew into the air, cloaked but watching. Energy pulses hummed, forming a ring around the clearing. The enemy ship appeared from the clouds, black and quiet. It dropped a squad of 10 soldiers near the crash site. They moved fast, scanning the trees. Find the human. The fugitive 2, one ordered. They bonded. They're dangerous. Together. They advanced toward the cabin, but they didn't know they were being watched. Cole and Vera, now above them on a rocky hill, watched every step through the scanner. Vera closed her eyes and took a breath. There's fear in them, she whispered. Some doubt. Cole checked the map. Let's give them a reason to doubt more. He hit the final trigger. The forest came alive. Hidden speakers played fake footsteps. Flashlights flickered between trees. Drones fired pulse shots into the air, making the enemy soldiers scatter. Then a loud, recorded voice echoed from all sides. Leave. Now. You are being watched. You will not win. Panic spread in the group. One soldier fired randomly, hitting his own teammate. Another shouted, It's a trap. They're everywhere. Vera's eyes glowed as she whispered now. Cole tossed 2 stun grenades into the center of the squad. They exploded in blue waves, dropping for more enemies. The last few tried to run but were caught in shock. Nets laid hours before. The forest went quiet again. Vera and Cole walked down the hill, stepping over fallen branches and stunned enemies. They reached the enemy ship. Its doors were still open. Cole walked inside and removed the flight controls, making sure it could never take off again. Let's leave a message, he said. He activated a screen near the door and typed a sentence in standard galactic language. The human and the fugitive are protected. Come again, and more will fall. Then he shut the ship down. Back in the cabin, Vera leaned against the wall, tired but calm. Cole brought her water and sat beside her. You okay? He asked. Yes, she replied. And you? I've never felt more alive, Cole said. They shared a quiet moment, no more talking. Just breathing, just the warmth between them. She looked at him and whispered, The bond is not just survival now. Cole smiled faintly.